Today we begin a conversation dedicated to outstanding Ukrainian cultural figures. And today the first of our paths will be a figure who became the voice of entire nation, Lesya Ukrainka. Her strength, her words, her indomitability and talent touch the heart even after centuries. I invite you on this interesting journey close to history, to culture, to our inner light. Let's imagine Ukraine where Lesya Ukrainka was born, the end of 19th, beginning of 20th century. This is not yet state that we know today. This is a land without own borders, divided between two empires, Russian in the east and Austro-Hungarian in the west. In the East, bans of Ukrainian language, censorship, decrease, which did not allow even children's books to be printed in their native language. In the West, a little more freedom, but also under foreign emblem. And yet, despite everything, the roots of Ukrainian self-identity did not die. They went deep from the times of Kievan Rus, where writing, spirituality, and state culture were born. After the fall of Rus, their roots did not disappear. They simply sprouted in the other forms. In the principalities, in the Cossack regiments, and peasant songs. They survived in Lithuanian and Polish times, survived the destruction of the Zaporozhian siege, but they lived in words, in embroidery, in melody, in memory. And when it seemed that Ukrainian spirit had exhausted itself in the turn of 19th, 20th centuries, new shoots appeared, people who did not allow the spirit to fade. Among them was Lesya Ukrainka. Under the rule of empires, the peasants live a hard life. In the morning is the field, in the evening darkness. School is a luxury, is newspaper a wonder, and a book in Ukrainian is almost a crime. But among this silence there were still people who did not give up. They were called enlighteners. They collected libraries, taught peasants, translated classics so that people would not forget who they were. And among these islands of light was the Cossack family, not just educated, free in thought. Their home is like a small cultural center. On the table, Shevchenko and Homer. Next to it is a French dictionary, a piano, and wax candles. The neighbors have chickens, and the Cossacks have magazines, manuscripts, and correspondence with European intellectuals. Her mother, Olena Pchilka, was not only a writer. She fought of Ukrainian language when she was punished for it. Her aunt, Olga Dragomanova, was the wife of a famous philosopher who lived in Geneva and wrote about the freedom of peoples. Her father, Petro Kosach, was then an activist and kind and calm man who allowed his children to say whatever they thought. So while most children in those days were taught to be silent, Lesya grew up in a home where silence was a sin. And it was there, in the middle of the 19th century, among the Volyn forests and the smell of wax, that a girl whose eyes that see deeper was born. Her name was Larissa Petrivna Kosach, but the world will remind her as Lesya Ukrainka. There are people who are born not to simply live, but to light a fire in the heart of others. Lesya Ukrainka is exactly that. She seems to be made a different material, fragile but unbreakable. A fragile, sick girl with a braid and sparkle in her eyes, who could turn the idea of a manhood upside down with one sentence. Imagine an 8-year-old girl writes her first poems, and not about seals, not about dolls, but about winter, pain, and loneliness. At 19, she writes a textbook, Ancient History of Eastern Peoples. so that her brothers and sisters can learn Ukrainian. At 21, she translates Heine, and she also plays the piano, draws, sews, embroiders. But the disease takes her hands away, and she switches to another instrument, the pen. Because it was during those years that the main antagonist came into her life, bone tuberculosis, a pain that did not let her go until the last day. But instead of despair, she wrote, "Yes, I will laugh through tears, not as a poet, as a warrior." There are a few such love stories in Ukrainian literature. She is a sick poetess, he is a Sergei Marzinsky, a revolutionary and idealist. They met in Crimea, both knowing the time was running out. She is being entreated, he is dying. And that night, when Sergei fades away, Lesya sits by the bed and writes obsessed. She cannot save the body, so she saves the soul with words. The heroine of her drama, Miriam, says, "I have something in my heart that does not die," and these words become her credo. Lesya did not accept pity. In her letters, she wrote, "I don't need sympathy, I need struggle." She travels around Egypt, Italy, Georgia, looking for treatment, but finds there are not a cure, but new ideas. Her life is like a journey between illness and inspiration. Contrast spare, against hope, I hope. This is not just a poem. It is a spiritual formula. Its lines sound like a mantra for those who fall but do not give up. Her poetry is not about flowers and tears. It's the energy of resistance, a hymn of dignity, the cry of a sensible soul. A time when women were supposed to be silent, Lesya creates heroines who speak louder than men. Her Cassandra is about the truth that no one wants to hear. Her Boyarinya is about a person who has lost her voice among foreign culture. Her forest song is about love that is stronger than this. Malka, who says, "No, I am alive, I will live forever," is Lesya herself. Her text is a theater of light within the darkness. Every word is a challenge, every letter is resistance. And even censorship could not stop her. She published it under pseudonyms, hid manuscripts, sent texts to Lviv, Geneva, Kiev. Her letters are a separated universe. She writes, "I don't like weak people, because weakness is a sin." And this verse is her entire philosophy. She is called a poetess, but that is too narrow a word. Lesya is a thinker. She studied Kant, Spinoza, Darwin, Nietzsche. At 25, she knew 9 languages and freely debated with Europeans. She did not write treatises, but her poetry is philosophy and rhythm. Her dramas are conversation of soul with God, of man with destiny. She did not call herself a feminist. She simply lived as a free woman, without permission and without excuses. And that is why today, when we read her text, she sounds not like a person of the past, but like the voice of the future. Interesting facts. Lesya was left-handed and drew beautifully. Her favorite color was blue, the color of depth and silence, she wrote. She loved music, but because of her sore hands, she left the piano and began to play with the words. She wrote a history book to her brothers. She adored cats and called one of them the professor. Her favorite foods were simple: bread, milk, apples, as she didn't like being pitied. Pity is not sympathy, but resentment, she said. Lesya Ukrainka lived only 42 years. But she made an eternity out of each of these years. She did not write about Ukraine as a victim. She saw a heroine in it. And today, when it seems that there is no more strength, she seems to tell us through the centuries hope without hope. She taught us not drama, but dignity, not a weakness, but a courage, not silence, but a voice. Lesya Ukrainka is not a monument, she is a mirror. And when you look in it, you see who you can be if you are not afraid to be yourself. Thank you for being there for this story about Lesya Ukrainka. Her past, her words still inspire and lead us forward. See you in next story. There are many more names, many discoveries, and much more beauty of Ukrainian culture ahead.